shining a light on what is the single most unjust thing I've ever seen happen to our state of Minnesota. The Trump administration's decision to target Minnesota and the Twin Cities, flooding our streets with thousands of federal immigration agents, is not about public safety. It's not about fraud. It's not even about immigration enforcement. We've seen attacks on high schools, over 3,000 agent surge, warrantless searches, killings, shootings, and none of this has done anything to help Minnesota. In fact, it has hurt Minnesota. In fact, it has diminished economic activity in our state, deprived schools' children from education, created barriers for public life. That is why the three of us joined together with the state of Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul to sue the Trump administration over Operation Metro Surge. Let me be clear. We're not suing because ICE is in Minnesota. They were in Minnesota last year. They were in Minnesota 10 years ago. We didn't sue them then. We sued them over this activity, which is unjustified, unconstitutional, damages our state, interferes with our sovereignty as a member of these United States, violates the Administrative Procedures Act, is arbitrary, capricious, and damaging to all of us. That is what this lawsuit is all about. And I just want to note that you've heard much about how the behavior of ICE is taxing our local law enforcement. But I want to be clear. Local law enforcement is doing a good job. They're maintaining order in our state. The order, if there, to the degree there is a lack of it or a challenge, is directly and exclusively because of the Metro Surge authorized by the President of the United States. This is, and so as he contemplates the Insurrection Act, please know that we do not need federal authorities to help us maintain order. We need them to stop doing things. That is what is needed in this situation, and that is what we're demanding in our lawsuit. So let me just say that the family of Renee Nicole Good and the family of everyone who's been thrown to the ground, beaten, harassed, arrested in a warrantless search, anyone whose business has been destroyed, had to face closing their business because of this conduct, that we are standing with you. And we will not stand by idly as this injustice unfolds. We will stand up and assert all means legal to protect the people of our state.
Now from Copenhagen is one of the U.S. lawmakers on that congressional delegation, Democrat Madeleine Dean of Pennsylvania. Congresswoman, it's great to have you with us. Thank you for taking the time. What's your message to Danish officials today?
Well, thank you for covering this. And I'm on a very special trip, 10 of us from both the Senate and the House, and importantly, 2 Republican senators. As your reporting shows, Senator Tillis, but also Lisa Murkowski, Senator Murkowski. And they've had very powerful words here. We've had the opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister of Denmark, the Prime Minister, these are private meetings, the Prime Minister of Greenland, and then we just came from, forgive me, a very large meeting of members of Parliament from both Greenland and from Denmark. We also had lunch with a bunch of industry folks. And I have to tell you, their hospitality is so warm, but they're very puzzled. They believe that we are the strongest of allies. We have a 225-year relationship, 80 years in NATO. Denmark, a founding member, and Greenland is a NATO member. So they're puzzled, they're dismayed, they don't understand it. I think our message, and I think this is true in a bipartisan way, is that we are your ally and your friend, and that bond continues. That we do not understand the president's ambition to take Greenland, and Greenland has no interest in that. They want respect. They want to rebuild trust, and we have a chance to do that. One of the most impressive things to me is when you talk about NATO, if somehow the president were to make a claim on and a military move on Greenland, it could shatter NATO. Nobody wants that. So what I hope our message is we are your ally and your friend, and we will be for a very long time. After all, when Article 5 was triggered one time, who came to our aid and assistance? Denmark and Greenland. Denmark came to our aid, and they fought alongside us. We're going to tomorrow lay a wreath for the 50 folks who died serving alongside us, an ally and friend.
They're certainly getting a different message from you in this bipartisan group than they've received from the White House directly. And you mentioned Tillis and Murkowski are part of the conversations. We've also seen strong words from one of your Republican colleagues in the House, Congressman Don Bacon, who's not on today's trip, but he told a news outlet in Nebraska, quote, "There's so many Republicans mad about this." Speaking of the whole Greenland acquisition talk, and he adds that if the president follows
What I love to see here is how many people got involved, how many people let their voice be heard, which, by the way, that's what a republic, that's what a democracy is all about. And
we have met with survivors and heard their heartbreaking stories.
People will be made homeless. People will have to accept substandard housing. Children will have to change schools. People will lose their jobs.
If a person as nonpartisan as Chairman Powell can be subject to these accusations, is there anyone in our government who is truly safe from similar prosecution?
It happened because athletes spoke up. It happened because the courts enforced the law, because advocates pushed for change, and because Congress at times chose not to stand in the way of progress.
They want to make sure that political prisoners, all of them, need to be released. And we've had success all last year in special election after special election. And we will continue to come together around an affordability agenda because people's kitchen table costs are what matters. And that's what Democrats across the country are singularly focused on.
I want to tell her right now, Secretary Noem, you have violated your oath of office and there will be consequences.
And that is all because Tim Walz and the people around him, the leadership, are telling people that they should fight federal law enforcement agents.
Well, and when did we suspend the notion of rule of law in this country? I thought we were a country where we respected the rule of law, unless I missed something.
Not in Minnesota. I mean, Tim Walz and company, they apparently don't respect any of it. And one of the reasons that